How does people all around the world find out about you?
We have thousands of people that are telling people that this is such a cool place to come to. And we have those, and we have, oddly enough, we have the same thing in Asia. The Asians were so happy with us. They broadcast our shows, and they put it on the internet in Chinese or Japanese.
Yeah.
And people learn about that. And when they come to Tucson, they're here. When they
Okay, so I'm traveling through Tucson and I stopped at this rock shop, and man, there's a lot of cool things here. And so I asked the owner if they would do me a little guided tour, and he's agreed to. So tell me your name and what your name of your rock shop is and how they can get here, and then let's go on a tour.
Well, here we are, Tucson Mineral Gem World. My name is Ron. I'm a co-owner with my brother Richard, and we've been here 57 years. People know where we are, so they bring us all kinds of cool stuff all the time. So we're always having a turnover of the most amazing things. We're not just a rock shop. We've got everything you ever wanted to see that's strange and weird. So let's look around, and I'll pick out some cool stuff that we sell here in the store.
Let's see it, Ron.
Okay. All right, let me start with one of my favorite things, because I'm an ex-anthropologist. Human bones are my favorite. This is a human skull, and it's cool by itself, but it has a history to it. In 1541, in northern New Mexico, he was murdered. There's an axe in his head. He was killed during the Spanish Indian Revolt. And all those years ago, this is the iron axe. So I guess he didn't feel it, but it's kind of cool as an archaeological specimen. Now, by our name, the name of the rock shop is Tucson Mineral and Gem World. Well, we have a lot of those too. Let me show you one of my favorite pieces that we just cut in. This is really cool. These are crystals of calcite and sphalerite. And these come from a mine hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet underground, where they grew, and then miners go in, they knock them out of the ground, and they bring them to us. But this is an absolutely exquisite specimen. Really beautiful.
Is that found here in Arizona? Or?
It's found in Arizona.
Really?
At one of the mines. And of course, Arizona is famous for its mining, so we get a lot of stuff from the mines here. The miners bring it in.
So back to this skull.
Yeah.
What's the story? Do you got a story on how it was found or where it was found?
Yeah.
And
okay, I have some friends in northern New Mexico, near a town called Tierra Amarilla, way in northern New Mexico, out in the forest. And I can't stand just being in one place, so I go out and exploring. And one of these days, there was this road grader coming through, and I was following him, and I saw these crumbs of bone. So I followed the crumbs of bone, and it led me to this Indian skull. Okay, 1541. How old is that? That's a long time ago. And he was murdered, and he's a Spanish conquistador. Spanish conquistador, not a very nice guy. And so he was offed by one of the Indians with this metal axe, an iron axe.
so you said you was an anthropologist. How can you tell that's a Spanish conquistador? How can you tell it's not Indian? How can you tell? Is there a way?
There's absolutely a way. This is when the Spanish came in early on, and the way you know the difference between a Spaniard and an Indian is the Spaniard has low cheekbones, okay, and he's got straight teeth. The Indians have something called shovel-shaped teeth, and these don't have it. A tall forehead, everything physiological is a Spanish soldier. The date and the culture at the time. Now, I told you we have some macabre things, some strange things, and I love those too. Let me show you something we got not too long ago. The legend in Arizona and all through the southwest and northern Mexico is the legend of Chupacabra, the goat sucker. And people see him, they say they see him, as a furry creature on all four. They can get on his hind legs, and he's got bat wings. And he sucks not only goats, the blood out of the goats, but sucks people's blood out when they're asleep. Let me show you. We have a hand from Chupacabra. There we go. Isn't that cool?
Huh.
Now, this is one of those things, believe it or not, it's a myth and a legend. And I don't know what this came from, but I think it came from a Chupacabra. And I'll stick to that story.
I like that story.
Okay. Beautiful minerals. You can see minerals and minerals and minerals. We've got 10,000 minerals on display. Okay. And we have skulls everywhere. Human skulls, and everyone has a story. We have a witch's skull that was burned at the stake.
That's that darker black one?
That's one up here.
Oh, the one up there.
And we have a Roman gladiator that was killed in the Colosseum in Rome about 2,000 years ago.
How did you end up with that?
We have people we have friends all over the world that work with different governments and entities, and this one was found in a gladiator's graveyard.
Wow.
That was found when they were doing a municipal trench for plumbing or electrical work. So he's really cool.
Yeah.
Here's a this is a sacrificial child from the Celtic age in Europe, found in the bogs. This one is a skull of a pirate, and that one's a skull of an Aztec, another Aztec sacrificial human, the one that had his heart cut out and thrown off the Great Pyramids.
Huh.
So he's really good. I love these skulls. People are amazed when they come and see these.
Yep.
There's our pterodactyl, one of my favorite prehistoric animals, and he greets everybody that comes in, and he's really cool, really cool. Some pterodactyls were the size of airplanes. This is a small one. We have little minerals, and we have big minerals. Big minerals we sell to museums and architectural people for their clients. The small ones for collectors. The pretty ones for gifts for kids. We got them all. And we sell. One of the big things we've gotten into recently is the realm of holistic crystal healing. And we get a whole number of people that come in to buy crystals that are used for healing their bodies, healing their mind, healing their attitudes, and depression. But all these minerals have a healing property to them. There's so many of them, but they come in, and a lot of them, and we're happy to have a beautiful selection for those folks. And that's really nice. Jewelry, everybody comes in. A lot of people come in for jewelry. These are necklaces made of gemstones, and we have things to make necklaces with. Meteorites. Okay, here's one of the meteorites that we have in our offerings. It's called a tektite, and this is a moon meteorite. This would happen when a giant comet, 27 billion tons, smacked into the moon and melted part of the moon to form a crater. And all that good liquid molten stuff flew out into space, perfectly preserved in sub-zero, perfectly preserved, to come into Earth's atmosphere. When they came into Earth's atmosphere, they melted and formed these wonderful shapes and landed. And these are found all over the world, and we're happy to have all kinds of them. So, and we have the iron and nickel meteorites, and the tektites are stony meteorites. We have gold. We have lots of gold samples for sale. Cool. And we have silver for sale. And we have great ironwood carvings. One of the amazing things we have are things made by our local artist here, Scott, and he takes sculptures and he puts inlays beautiful gemstones and metals like turquoise and copper are where the copper state. So these beautiful sculptures.
That's inlaid turquoise.
This is inlaid turquoise.
Well, that's cool.
Isn't that cool? And Scott Jones, our local artist who works for us exclusively, makes these things, and oh, they're wonderful. People love them. Not only that, he makes canes. The same thing. Inlays them. Beautiful. All kinds of crystals, like this giant one that's a clear quartz crystal. But they come in all kinds of crystals and all kinds of colors, like smoky, which are smoky crystals like this. Much different, but they're beautiful. And we have rose quartz, we have rose-colored quartz, we have green quartz, we have red quartz, we have black quartz. All different kinds of crystals. And they're lovely. And kids love them, they take them home with them. If you look down here, this is our bargain area. These are beautiful crystals. Everyone is perfect. But we have overstocked things, so we price these things from $1 to 50 cents up to maybe $3. Affordable for kids that want to start a collection. And we've got hundreds and hundreds of them. From vanadinite, one of my favorite minerals. Ora vanadium. Wow, chrysocolla. Look at the beautiful color of that one. Chrysocolla is a copper mineral. And sulfur. This is sulfur. I lit a piece of this and drove everybody out of the store. It really stinks like a volcano, but it's fun. All these minerals are fun. Everything has a story. The holistic people like wands, and they make wands for spiritual reasons out of these selenite crystals. And the nice thing is they can buy these things, they can split them down the middle, and then split them again, so they can get about 5 or 6 wands out of this thing and give them to their friends. So it's really cool stuff. Petrified wood. Arizona is famous for its petrified wood, and a lot of it comes right here where the Tucson Gem and Mineral Store is. A lot of it comes from up north by the petrified forest, not in the forest, but legally collected outside the forest bounds. This is some petrified wood, and this is fossil driftwood from right here. And one of the reasons we know it's petrified, listen to this. That's not wood, that's stone. Wood. And it's 40 million years old. So I'm holding a piece of tree that was 40 million years ago. Wow. Come on in the back. We'll show you some really cool stuff because I'm an ex-archaeologist and an ex-paleontologist. So I love fossils and I love archaeology, specimens, artifacts. This is our back gallery. And you see Jerry over here. He's an expert on ancient coins and the like. So he's putting some coins and things in here right now. I think Roman coins. And show him a Roman coin.
That's Galileus. He was an emperor from 260 to 268 AD.
That's old. It's 2,000 years old.
And we have one here that's an Arcadius. Arcadius also was an emperor and ruler from 385 to 408 AD.
This is interesting for a collector. This is a crucifixion nail. These actually came off of crucified people's arms and legs in ancient Rome, where they crucified a lot of people. But these, you can tell they're crucifixion nails because they have this flat head. Macabre, but we sell a lot of them. The people are in churches and like talking about Roman history and the like. This came from the slave revolt. This came from the slave revolt, where thousands of slaves were killed in Rome just to make a point. So they were very common in the mass graves of in Rome. So that's really cool.
So yeah, that's what I thought was interesting is is I stopped into a rock shop, and this isn't just a rock shop, man. You had stuff, Egyptian artifacts here. You have Roman artifacts here. You got you got everything.
Look at this panel up here. These are Egyptian slaves depicted on carvings on sandstone that was the face of a tomb about 5,000 years ago. And they're carrying things and what have you. This is really cool. Nice artifact. Ushabtis. These are cool. Every one of these is a mummy helper. These are found inside the wrappings of a mummy, and ushabtis are used for everyday functions. When the pharaoh goes to heaven, their heaven, they had to have 366 of these.
Oh, really?
And one for every day of the year, and a larger one for a foreman. So, and they're really cool, very nice artifacts, and cheap.
Here you go around. Here's a little artifact. Shows as well. It's a little amber going back to the Jurassic Park era. Piece of amber with an insect in it.
Oh, that one's got an insect in it.
This one does have a little insect in it.
Cool.
Probably a mosquito.
Probably a mosquito. Very right.
This is one that was depicted in the news a lot. This is woolly mammoth hair. This was found frozen in Alaska and in the permafrost. And it's beautifully preserved. It's one of the kinds of preservations that paleontologists look for. It's got fossil hair, and it's got hide and flesh and skin up here. So it's a beautiful fossil. We have a lot of these for sale because we have some sources up in Alaska that sell them to us. Another kind of cool thing. You want to talk about cool things? This is cloth woven 600 years ago, and it was found buried in the driest desert in the world on the coast of Peru, called the Acatama Desert. And this was worn by an Inca Indian. Incas were a huge culture, but this is one of the most famous weavings in the world, and even better than a lot of weavings today. And it's got preserved because it was in totally dry conditions in that desert. I like this one. This is something I got recently. This was found in a Viking burial. Okay, look at the Viking axe.
Cool. And
a piece of Viking pottery. And there's a ceremonial piece there made of bone. And there's a piece of the Viking itself. So, really cool. Somebody's going to get this for their wall. It's a wall decoration, or study it.
Man, you got a lot of stuff here.
These are some of my favorites here. These are wolf skulls. 30,000 years ago in the La Brea tar pits.
Wow.
Ron just acquired these here, and these have actually been moving off the shelf pretty good. And I mean, they're just amazing how old they are.
These are something that the kids are really in awe of. These are the jaws and teeth of a swimming dinosaur, well, a relative of the dinosaur, called a mosasaur. And these were found all over the world, and some of them got to be as big as this store. This is a small one, but we have these jaws for sale, and we will tell you all about mosasaurs when you come in to see us. Fascinating animals that lived 65 million years ago. Isn't that cool?
So not only is that cool, but man, look at your prices, you know. $49.95. Man, I would think, man, a lot more than that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Where would you find these outside of a museum?
Yeah.
We're selling them like you buy a pot and pan set off a normal store. So this is kind of cool. And we sell things as cheap as we can sell them because we want people to have them.
Cool. Geez, Ron, I'm starting to really, really like you.
Well, we love things. When I grew up, my first fossil was a trilobite. Ancient animals that lived in the Paleozoic era as far back as 500 million years. I got some here recently to put on display. This is a trilobite that's at least 500 million years old. And it's in limestone. And I just love trilobites. And we have a lot of them for sale. There's thousands of different kinds of them. But they're beautifully preserved because the shell is like a crab and a lobster. In fact, this was the ancestor of the crab and the lobsters. So I just think they're really amazing. Here's a case full of really cool artifacts. And these are stone axes. We call them three-quarter groove axes. And these were used by the ancient Indians, Native Americans, thousands of years ago. And they're used for all kinds of things, chopping trees and grinding food and all kinds of things. Now, this had a stick attached to it, so it was like an axe head. Isn't that cool? Well, he showed you the, we saw a minute ago, this is a wolf skull, a small species of wolf skull that lived 10,000 years ago and died in the La Brea tar pits of California. That's why it's black like this. It was preserved in tar 10,000 years ago. Picture something trapped in the tar and screaming and really feeling bad because it's making a lot of noise. These wolves, it's called dire wolves, heard those animals and came and got stuck trying to get at the other animal. That's why there's so many of these found in the La Brea tar pits. I think they're cool. A nice way of preserving things. Fossil fish. We have hundreds of different fossil fish. And the kids like these because they're whole, they can see it, they don't have to use their imagination. And it's more than just a tooth or a bone. It's the whole fish, 40 million years old. Look at this. Some trilobites got giant, like this one. This one's about 600 million years ago. And there's two of them fell to the bottom of the ocean and got stuck. And when you dig in limestone, the ancient sea bottoms, sometimes you can find these things. And you never have, the most incredible feeling in the world is adventure and discovery. That's it. That's why I do it. Discovery and adventure. This is a bone from a giant rhinoceros that's 36 million years old, called a titanothere. It's well preserved, it's heavy, really petrified, from near Tucson. So much of this is found near Tucson. Cool. Tucson is a copper state. This is a piece of copper.
Oh, man.
This is a hunk of copper, probably weighs 40 pounds. This is what Arizona is famous for, the copper. And see, it's green, and it's solid metal, solid copper. And we have big ones, 5 times this big, and we have tiny ones, collectors. Arrowheads. Phenomenal number of different kinds of arrowheads from cultures all over the world. This is a Mayan sculpture. And hold on, we're getting there. This is a 2,000-year-old arrowhead made by an archaic man 2,000 to 5,000 years ago. It's made of a flint, and it was sitting on the ground right here, and we're not far from the Saguaro National Park and old Tucson movie studios. We're right down the road. So this is something that we find here and all over the southern Arizona. Really cool archaeological specimens. This is a 500-year-old emperor's robe.
Wow.
Look at that. I feel like I go back 500 years and I'm sitting on the top of a pyramid telling people what to do. It's just so cool. Such a feeling to wear something that's 500 years old. And I just love it. It smells good. The weaving, there's over 2 miles of thread in this garment. And it's just an amazing piece. Pottery. We have a good representation of prehistoric pottery. This is a beautifully painted piece of pottery. We have baskets. We have bottles from ghost towns all over southern Arizona, and we have minerals from 5 cents to $5,000. Most of them are very affordable, as are the artifacts here. We love to help people out and look at the ancient history and learn about fossils and archaeology. And that's a good reason we're here. We're here to teach and listen to people and see what they found and make them excited about science and archaeology and paleontology. That's how I got started. Somebody was very kind to me and showed this stuff to me a long time ago. But here we are in this beautiful setting, in this beautiful rock shop.
Cool.
Good enough?
Okay, man, no, I seen you have them stones out there.
Right. Come on back. I'm going to show you what we have outside. Okay, let's go through our chamber here. This is where we have thousands and thousands of specimens in our warehouse. But let's go outside where we have some really cool things. This is our yard, and people are amazed what we have out here. This is the gemstone peridot, still in the rock. Volcanic glass called obsidian. A pile of petrified wood. And these are thousands of years old. These are manos and metates. They were used by the ancient Indians here maybe 2,000 to 3,000 years ago. And they're used for grinding their grains and textile parts to use every day. And they're just beautiful. And they're heavy, so hard to bring home.
Okay.
Let me show you the grinding stones. These are massive grinding stones that were used in the mills by the Spaniards here hundreds of years ago. And they're amazing. Think of how many people these fed by grinding grains. These were found near Tubac. So these were used to feed the early people in Tucson at Tubac, south of here. So really cool. They're made of volcanic rock, which is porous, makes for good grinding. So these are
kind of same principle as an arasta. They'd build a circle, turn them.
Absolutely, absolutely. This might have came from an arastry. Okay, they have 2 of them together. That sometimes in a big circle, the horses would pull a rock around that was attached to these and grind and grind and grind and grind. And that's probably what this was used for. An arastry is just something that we love to see out in the grounds here, and we see them quite frequently.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, we just dug up one.
Really?
Just southeast of here. And that arastri, it was just under the surface of the ground, and it's a big circle of solid rock that they placed like jigsaw puzzle pieces. And that's where the horse pulled these massive stones to grind their food during the Spanish occupation here at Tubac.
Cool. I see this one here's got little handholds on it.
Yeah, this is not this one. This is mate to that one.
Ron, you're awesome. You got an awesome shop here. Thank you for the tour.
My pleasure. We have fun here, and we love to teach, and we love to share. Big reason we're here.
So, and you was telling me that other people had come here and interviewed you in your store, and I had no clue of this. You was telling me who?
We have people, not only local people, we have folks that come, bring their kids just to come to our rock shop.
From all over the world.
All over the world. California. There recently was a family from China who brought their kids all the way from China just to see our store. When I saw the store and they looked at it and they flew back to China, had a great time. Kind of wishy-washy with translation, but we got the message across and they were happy. And
so, how did these people find about you? You know, because I just happened to drive by and seen this rock shop and thought I'm going to stop in and see, man. And when I walked in here, I seen all kinds of cool things. How does people all around the world find out about you?
Well, check us out in the web, on the internet, on the travel sites. We have thousands of people that are telling people that this is such a cool place to come to. And we have those, and we have, oddly enough, we have the same thing in Asia. The Asians were so happy with us. They broadcast our shows, and they put it on the internet in Chinese or Japanese.
Yeah.
And people learn about that. And when they come to Tucson, they're here. When they fly, the kids love archaeology and are able to bring home stuff. They come here. This is stuff that they can't legally own in their countries. But here, everything is perfectly legal. So you have no trouble with that. And we're so glad they come.
Yeah. Ron, again, thank you. This is awesome.
You're welcome.
I've known Ron and Rich for what, about 20 years now?
Really? Okay.
And just come down here because you never know what you're going to find. Every time you come down here, there's
something new, huh?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just came in here and I thought it was just a rock shop, and I came looking around and I went, whoa!
It is a rock shop.
He's got a lot of cool
so
stuff
much
in here.
More. Yes.
Yeah, very cool.
Go in the back. You never know what's going to happen.
Awesome.
I like it though.
Awesome.